Wayne Kindle from Frontenac will be doing the play-by-play. Color commentary will be Pat McMiniman from Frontenac and myself, Gordon McClellan from Bay Ridge. So looking forward to an exciting match today.
I really think it'll be excellent. And we're getting ready here for the kickoff.
The coaches for each team, for Sydenham, Ron Dickey, Lynn Snyder, Don Smith, Steve Price, and R.J. McGinnis.
And the coaches for REGI, the head coach is Glenn Williamson, assisted by Frank Halligan, Pat McCarthy, Charlie Mignot, Brian Archambault, Brian Leggett, Andy Collins, and Greg Evans.
Well, it looks like REGI will be kicking off to Sydenham.
And REGI is going to start the game with the wind advantage. So we'll be looking for a deep kickoff here. Sydenham getting themselves all psyched and ready to go.
Well, I think you mentioned it earlier, Wayne, the fact that REGI had literally upset Sydenham in the last game of the season. I think maybe Sydenham, as a result of that, will be much better prepared for REGI today.
There's no question it's easier to get ready for a team you've lost to. However, REGI has really come on towards the end of the season, including that big win over Sydenham, and they always, I know as a Frontenac coach, we always have a very difficult time with REGI. They always seem very well prepared to play us, not only from an emotional point of view, but prepared in terms of systems. So I expect them to be all set to go here.
I guess REGI is a very physical, has a very physical defense, and that seemed to be the determining factor in the game in which REGI had beaten Sydenham last game of the season. So we're looking for REGI to come out strong on defense as well.
Okay, we're about ready for the kickoff here.
Reed and Van
We have
Peppen.
19 Owen O'Neill for REGI about to get the kickoff.
Reed and Van Peppen are deep to return it for Sydenham.
And here we go. Little trouble handling the ball. And it's straight ahead. Sydenham will have the ball on their own 25-yard line to begin.
All right, there's an interesting kick. I don't know if he miskicked it or he just attempted to kick it into a spot. Again, a slippery field, trying to pick up a little mud, but it was picked up and dropped by Steve Van Peppen, and he really only gained a couple of yards after he picked the ball up.
Earlier in the week, Steve was a doubtful starter. I guess he got a shot in the game last week against QE, and hasn't practiced with the team since.
Well, that was interesting because last Friday night he was at the Bingo Palace playing bingo, so and he didn't win any money.
Well, I guess he didn't have to sprint too often, although with some of the customers here, I think maybe he would have to. Well, looks like...
Well, while Sydenham's in the huddle, we might as well go through the starting lineup here. Left end is Huey Van Conant, number 7. The tackle is Brett White, I should say. Tim Campsell at guard, Joe O'Neill is the center, Paul Lake at right guard, Mike Tousineau left guard, Chris Kerr is the right end. We have Ruben Brunet at wide receiver, Steve Van Peppen is a slot back wide receiver, Sean Reed is the halfback, Paul Isles the fullback, and Troy Thompson is the starting quarterback. Starting defense for REGI, at the left end we have Keith Kirby, Joe Salome is tackle, noseman is Mark Cantaruti. Tackle is Lee Hamilton, the end is Craig Smith, corners are Carlos Ponte and John Guerra, linebackers are Damon Dagnoni and Mike Ranger, with the deep backs being Owen O'Neill, Mark Thompson, and the safety is John Gaussel.
Seems to be a slight delay.
Yeah, Sydenham's now breaking the huddle and
game's underway.
And they're in their normal set with the 3 backs in the backfield, and they gave on a little counter to Paul Isles straight up the middle.
And REGI stuffed that very effectively on the first play.
So we have 2nd and 10 It'll be interesting to see if Sydenham decides to do much passing against this wind, or whether they'll be content to keep the ball on the ground.
I think both quarterbacks have good, strong arms. I don't think the wind has to be a factor. In fact, I don't think a lot of coaches like the fact that there is a windy day in the slippery field.
And it's give to second man, Sean Reed, off tackle, and he's about a yard short of a first down.
Well, that was some hard running, I'll tell you, on some slippery field. There's 9.5 yards, 9 yards on just a great carry by Sean Reed.
Sean certainly has the ability to go inside or outside, and I think you'll see him be very effective for the Eagles today.
And Sydenham has elected not to punt against this wind, and they're going for it on 3rd and short.
Oh, they're gambling early.
And
Troy Thompson.
Quarterback keeps straight ahead with Troy Thompson.
Well, there was no doubt that they were going to go for that.
It'll be very difficult to gain too many yards punting against this wind today. I think as long as it's close, you'll see the teams gambling quite a bit on 3rd down. It's 1st and 10 from about the 38-yard line. And same play, give second man. This time it's Steve Van Peppen carrying off tackle.
He's picked up a few yards, 3 or 4 yards.
Joe Salamone was on the tackle for REGI on that play.
It's like a pass formation this time.
We've got 4 receivers to the left, and they're coming on the sweep. Some good down blocks there.
There goes Reed.
Oh, he's right down the sideline, and they're not going to catch him. That's a touchdown for Sydenham.
Well, Reed did this very same thing in a semifinal against QE. Had a number of long gainers for touchdowns, and as I say, I think he'll be the difference today.
They got 4 men out front of him to the left side, and they did an excellent job of blocking down to open up that outside lane for Sean Reed. And he has that great speed as well as the power. He gets loose on the sidelines. He's tough to catch.
Well, Sydenham certainly comes out early with a big score.
And Steve Van Peppen will be trying for the extra point here with Troy Thompson holding.
Seems to have been the story all year that Sydenham has come out early and scored quickly.
It initially looked like a procedure. Offside, REGI is what they're calling. And they're having a short discussion out here, going over their options.
Procedure on Sydenham.
Procedure on Sydenham.
Seems to be a problem with the number down there.
So I guess they're saying the right guard moved a little bit early there and drew the defense offside. And the kick is good for a 7-0 lead for Sydenham.
9:37 left in the first quarter, and Sydenham's on the board, 7-0.
Well, I'm sure REGI will be anxious to answer this as quickly as possible. So Sydenham will now be kicking to REGI. I believe it'll be Steve Van Peppen kicking. So we have Dave Eves
and Oscar Marquise.
Will be deep for REGI to return this kickoff. And you can see them moving up a little bit here, expecting Sydenham's been moved back 5 yards for the offside penalty for the kickoff here, and are kicking against a pretty strong wind.
Sean Reed's kicking off. And it's a fairly short kick.
Whoa!
Ooh, and it's bobbled.
Fumble
And I think Sydenham have recovered.
Yes, The officials are indicating Sydenham's football.
That's tough. Here's a ball that was hanging in the air. The ball only traveled about 25, 30 yards max. And little communication problem between the deep back, who probably should have taken the ball, and maybe one of the up backs who blocks. And they collided. The ball's loose, and again, good downfield pursuit by the Sydenham kickoff team. Good specialty teams. Not the way I'm sure REGI wanted to start the game, especially since they had the wind, and they haven't had the ball yet to see what they can do with the wind.
Well, we'll see if Sydenham capitalizes on this turnover early in the first quarter again. And the same play to Reed.
And we've got a flag on the play.
A little different formation that time. They didn't have the sort of a slot 4 backers leading for Sean that time. He just had a couple of backs. I'm not sure if they purposely went at the same side just to see if the strength or the weakness is over there. Most coaches want to find out which corner is soft, which corner is playing tough. Passing the same way, you pass the zones, find out who's playing strong today, and then usually go after the weakness until they can stop you.
Sydenham were penalized for holding on that play, and that moves them back first down and 22, it looks like, at this stage.
Well, armchair quarterbacks, do you throw the ball now?
Well, I think you probably see Troy come out and pass at this stage. Although they're not in a passing formation.
Twin right.
Split end left.
And that's that little counter again where they fake the sweep to the outside and give the ball to Paul Isles coming up the middle.
I think they may be concerned about the wind in this quarter, and they're a little hesitant, a little reluctant to pass.
Anytime I've seen Troy Thompson, he's thrown the nice tight spiral, which is exactly what you need to throw into this wind on a day like today.
Well, if I'm Sydenham, I think you have to throw now. I don't see any reason. The REGI defense is playing very, very close, within 5 yards of line of scrimmage.
Ooh. And the pass is complete.
Looks like Ruben Burnett, number 33. Hold in that pass.
It looked like it was going to be a bit of a play action, and we had a stumble in the backfield. John Gausel and Mark Thompson were in on the coverage on that. And we have 3rd and long, so Sydenham's looks like they're coming out in their punting formation.
Number 15, Carlos Ponte, and 21, Mark Murphy, are back to receive this punt. Chris Kerr is doing the punting chores for Sydenham.
And we have a flag on the play. Short kick again. And they've blown it dead right away, although they threw a flag. Sometimes in these weather conditions, the officials will decide that when the ball is in the air like that, they'll simply blow the play dead at that spot. We'll have to wait here and see what the officials are calling.
Well, the punt traveled about 15 yards. I think a little procedure play on Sydenham. They blew it dead right away. So basically it's a 15-yard kick. If they penalize the team for no yards, I guess the net yardage would be 0 with the 15-yard no yardage penalty, but good call by the officials.
So REGI gets the ball for the first time today on their own 30-yard line. And they're going with the single back formation.
That's what they did, Wes.
Passing formation. Oh.
And he's wide open.
And he is gone.
I don't think they're going to catch it.
He is gone.
That's Dave Eves for REGI receiving that pass. It looked like they had a twin formation up to that side, and he just ran straight down the middle. And it looks like the Sydenham safety missed the coverage there.
What a great play for REGI. What a great play. Now, this could be a great ball game here. Kind of a spread formation, ace backfielder, just the one back sitting back there. That's something that REGI, and when REGI played Frontenac in the semifinal, they started the game for about 2 or 3 minutes with that formation. They went back to their normal pro set or I formation after that, but a great start. What a great play.
He's just simply split the seam and went all the way.
And it's good. We have a tie game.
That's a tough catch. There's a boy all alone in the clear. He knows he's behind the safety. Everybody said that's easy. It isn't an easy catch to make, and he made it. A beautiful catch, beautiful throw by Kevin too. Nice spiral. Just laid it up. Hit him in the hands, and he that must have covered 75 yards.
That was from their own 30-yard line.
So our two scores have come from two big plays, a running play and a pass play. So this could really be an exciting, wide-open game if this is a sign of what's to come. Sydenham's opportunity to return the ball.
We have Owen O'Neill for REGI, who's about to kick the ball. And we have Van Peppen and Reed deep to receive for Sydenham.
And I think you're right, Pat. I think they're purposely kicking the ball short to keep it away from Van Peppen and Reed. Ooh, face mask.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 flags out there, so I think they probably saw that infraction. I believe that was number 20.
Yeah.
Paul Isles.
Paul Isles who returned that. Had a decent return, and then there would be the face mask penalty tacked onto that. Sydenham's going to have excellent field position.
Boy, that's a big play. That really moves them into the REGI zone. All the way down to the REGI 46-yard line to start this drive.
The other thing that's nice is the snow is stopped. That should allow the blimp to get good coverage now.
Lights are on as well, so it is overcast. This is Sydenham's new formation. 3 backs lined up in a single eye.
Going straight ahead for about 8 yards, it looks.
Interesting, the downstick markers hadn't even placed yet. Guess that's the hurry-up offense by the officials there.
So they gave the ball there to the second man, I believe, in the 3-man eye, the power eye.
I believe Mr. Dickey is, Ron Dickey has inserted this formation just for this game to have a different look. And again, it's to Reed, the second man, and it looks like he has the first down.
Straight ahead.
It's a run off. It's a run offense. You probably defensively should tighten up a little bit. I mean, there's not a lot of receivers that can catch the ball. You got your 2 tight ends. You only have 1 flanker. The only potential receivers. I could see REGI tightening up their defense a little bit if they're going to stay in this power eye or whatever we're going to call it here.
Paul Isles at 220 pounds is a great fullback to have out in front of you to lead you on a power play like that. And he blocks
they've changed the formation back to the normal formation again.
And second man, giving it to Steve Van Peppen, trying to go off tackle right. And I believe the linebacker, Damon Dagnoni, made an excellent fill, scraped up into the off tackle hole and stopped him for maybe a yard gain.
That was a heck of a hit.
Just a terrific. The announcer said Canarudi. We got Dagnoni, but whoever did it, that was one great hit. Okay, armchair quarterbacks throwing down.
Well, it would be if I was calling the plays, but we'll see what's happening here. Running the sweep again.
Okay.
Oh, and he made it to the outside.
He's short.
But I believe he's short of the first down.
Good pursuit by the linebackers, inside backers. They strung the play out a little bit. They got burnt once on that. Looks like they've adjusted real well.
So 3rd and short yardage. We'll see if Sydenham will go for it. I suspect they will. They're in pretty decent field position. 3rd down and less than a yard to go.
Yep, they're on about the 24-yard line, 24-25. And interestingly, no power eye here.
And REGI read it well, but I think Thompson may have gotten the first down.
Looked like 56, Mark Cantarudi got through there very quickly.
Just a great read by the defense. He may have it, but what a great read by the defensive nose guard there. I mean, you teach athletes to read the ball and don't listen to any sound, and the second that ball moved, he was into the quarterback's numbers.
And it looks like they're going to measure this one. It's that close.
That's an excellent defensive play. As you know, when you have to give the yard, you figure it's pretty much automatic for an offense to get 1 yard.
4:34 to go in the first quarter.
It's a big measurement here. And it looks like they're a little short. What's the signal here?
Officials screwed up
I
again.
think they have to go back out and realign the chains.
The way they were holding the chains, that looked like Sydenham was going to come up a little bit short. It's just checking to make sure his clip was right on the yard marker.
I think Cliff missed the line that play. That he's the official that's bringing the chain in. Wayne Norris is the head official. Oh, and they're short.
And they are short. That's a big play for REGI.
Outstanding defense.
Yeah,
Just
it was.
outstanding.
Well, and REGI gets the ball back now while they still have the wind.
Just take a minute to introduce the starting defense for Sydenham. At the ends, Tom O'Grady, Jeff Moxley. At the tackles, Dave Groenwagen and Dean Snyder. Tim Garreau at corner and Matt Rennie at corner. Dave Hamrick, Steve White, Kevin Brown at linebacker, and at deep backs, Jermaine Baldwin, Ev Dirksen, and Corey Shoemaker.
We have that same ace backfield formation.
Oh, a nice pick.
Great catch. Number 6 for the Sydenham defense was putting on great pressure on Kevin McDonald, the quarterback, who had to dump the ball off in a hurry to Mike Dremel. Number 6 being Teeman Garreau for Sydenham, was in there in a hurry. And we still have the ace backfield formation.
REGI's certainly coming out passing this quarter, using the wind. There's a draw.
Draw play right up the middle.
Read well.
Some good hard running, but he is a little short of the first down, but not by a whole lot here. I think a yard, perhaps less.
Dean Snyder read the draw, made a nice low tackle, and got some help
That was
from
Mark.
3 or 4 other players. But
That was
great
Mark.
little tackle. I like
So
him.
that was Mark Murphy, the ball carrier. And it looks like REGI is trying to decide whether to go or to punt, and I believe they're going to go for it.
Well, they got less than a yard, and again, as I think Wayne, you said earlier, it's just pretty well automatic in Canadian football. You should be able to get a yard. I think the offensive line might have got a little careless there the last time we were sitting them, and you take for granted your quarterback's going to get the yard.
Oh boy, this will be close. Sydenham stacked them up right away.
Gee, Sydenham made a great defensive
I
play.
don't think they got this
No,
one.
they marking it on the, I think, on the line. If it's on the line, the
They have it.
first down stick is
Ooh.
inside the line.
Yeah, so it is first down.
But that's all they got. They got a
Inches.
foot.
Inches. Yes, you're
Tremendous
right.
defense by Sydenham. 2:50 left in the first quarter. 7-all tie.
Looks like REGI's coming out passing again. Passing
The
formation.
Sydenham defense looks like we have halfbacks and no safety. There's nobody in the middle of the field.
And there's that long pass. And he's overthrown him. Kevin McDonald's overthrown receiver. I think they had Sydenham had good coverage on that play.
Okay, Mark Compo was the intended receiver on that play.
It appeared to be the intended receiver. The receiver looked as if it wasn't to him, but definitely wasn't close to him.
And
Hurry
REGI's
up offense.
Yeah,
No huddle.
REGI's going without a huddle. And they have twin receivers on both sides, single back, and a little.
And that was again to number 20, Mark Compo, and just failed to hang on to that.
That's a dangerous pass on a day like today.
Almost
Picked
looked
off
like it
and-
was intended as a hitch pass, and then he had to go upfield to go after the ball.
It's interesting if this is Regi's strategy to throw the ball. They could throw the ball the whole game, or just because they have the wind, they're going to try to use the advantage that they have. I'm just wondering if maybe they're just going to throw the whole game.
Ooh, almost blocked.
Did a good job
Steve
to get
White.
the ball away. And a great tackle on the 40-yard line made by number 15 for REGI, Carlos Ponte.
79.
I believe it was 79. Grimmel that
79,
made that
Mike
tackle
Grimmel.
on Reed.
Mike Drummel's a great athlete, and if you're going to tackle Sean Reed, you don't tackle him up in the numbers because Sean's a big boy. Great low tackle. Coaches, their coaching staff must be thrilled with that.
and Sydenham will be starting from their own 40-yard line with 1:47 remaining in the first quarter. Score still tied up, of course.
And we're back to the power I. And again, it's a give to the second man. I think it's to Sean Reed again.
The second effort on that play, he was initially stopped about a yard across the line of scrimmage, and I think he drove for an extra 4 or 5 yards on that play. Regi's really playing the run right now. They're up really tight, looking for the running game.
Okay, and we're back to more of a normal formation for Sydenham. This offset backfield with twin right, and they're doing the pitch. And Sean Reed's gotten to the outside again, but great pursuit from the Regi defense. Going to be about a yard short on this, I think.
Number 58 again.
Yep.
Damon Dagnoni made a nice tackle on Reed.
He does a great job as a linebacker scraping up into those off tackle holes. We certainly found that playing against them in the playoff game and during the regular season.
Well, that's a long yard, so I think Sydenham's going to decide to punt on this play. .27 seconds left.
They're in punt formation anyways.
In the quarter, so this
And
may be the last
one
play
back.
into the wind.
And as you would expect, it's a short kick into that wind.
Number 15, Carlos Ponte, picks up the punt. It's a short return.
And it appears we have a no yards penalty.
That ball was lying on the ground for quite a while. I expected the kicker maybe could get up there. You like to teach the kickers, if they don't hit it clean, that they follow their kick, because you never know when you can get it back yourself.
Well, the fans don't like that call.
So with 6 seconds left in the first quarter, Regi is going to have their last play with the wind here.
I would predict a pass. What about you, Mr. McMenamin?
I think I would pass as well. I think I'd give it one last shot. And I like Wayne there. They have no safety. I would attack that zone there. You might run a corner post or something like that. That zone is open, either from an end or a wide out.
There it is. You called it, Pat.
There he is, and he's caught the ball. Number 25 for Regi, Dave Eves.
I'll tell you, Kevin McDonald threw a very nice ball.
That was a great throw and a great catch. So not bad defense on the man. But
Steve White had good coverage on that receiver, but he pulled it in extremely well.
It certainly looks like Sydenham, I think their defensive coordinator, Lynn Snyder, has decided with this spread offense to go man on man, which for our league is fairly unusual. Most people play a zone defense, and it looks a little strange to us to see a defense out there with no safety in the middle of the field. And as an offensive coordinator, I'm sure that's the area that they're talking about going after.
Well, they've exploited it on a couple of occasions successfully today, Wayne.
well, with Regi's first down on about the 10.5 or maybe 11-yard line, this would be very interesting if they could put another touchdown on the boards. They've looked quite sharp. Sydenham started out very strong, but they've
gone back to their standard formation here with twin fullbacks in the backfield and giving it to Mark Murphy on a little cross going off tackle right.
And there was a fumble on the play, but I believe Regi has recovered.
I was just wondering whether Regi would go back to their normal run formations and run the ball now that they're against the wind, or run the ball because they're in close.
Well, they've inserted Van Peppen and Reed into the defense for this short yardage situation by Regi. I guess it's long yardage, but it's...
I'd like to see Regi throw here.
5.
I don't think they're going to run against the Sydenham defense. I'd like to see them throw. I think if they're going to score a touchdown, they've had...
Seems to have been a penalty on that play.
Delayed penalty on the play.
Didn't see the flag.
I didn't see a flag. It must have been a hockey infraction. Well, they got 1st and 15 now, and now they are going to throw.
Great hit by Sean Reed on the quarterback, and good pass coverage by Steve Van Peppen. So bringing those two individuals in,
Sure, they fired Sean Reed there, and Kevin McDonald just turned around, and he was lucky to get the ball away.
I was going to say, I thought that was a great athletic move on his part to even get the ball away in that heat.
He sees, he has to read that fire, and he's got to look for a hot receiver. His ends or somebody's got to look very quickly, because they don't have a lot of time if they're going to fire Sean Reed in like that.
Well, it looks like they were going to fire again, Pat, and quarterback Kevin McDonald's called a timeout.
So the plays you go to there, you look for a quick slant from your slot. Maybe your tight end releases real quick and looks over.
I was going to say, with the formation, they've got the tight end on that side, Sean Reed's side of the field. If he just scoots right in behind where Reed leaves from and you dump the ball to him, that would be a logical answer to what Sydenham's doing here. It'd be interesting to see whether either team changes its mind here. The wind seems to have died down a little bit, as well as the snow stopping. Well, looking at those flags, maybe not died down too much.
The Sydenham bench is pretty well moved up to center field. Usually that's a common characteristic of high school football. They like to follow the play, so they move along.
I think they're showing some concern right now at this stage as well.
So it's second and 15 here.
Pro set, 2 wideouts. I got legal procedure on the looked like the left guard or tackle for REGI.
Yes, they've called a legal procedure, and that is a costly penalty right now. It's really moving REGI back out of.
They're almost putting them out of field goal range if they don't.
With this strong wind, that's certainly a possibility. You want to pick up some of those yards.
Well, you're looking at almost a 25-yard field goal against the wind now. It's not an easy factor.
And it looks like he's going to pass.
Screen.
Read pretty well. Oh, and there's a flag on the play.
Usually you consider a hold on that if there's going to be, and it is a hold being called. If you're Sydenham, do you put him back and make it second and 30?
Good tackle on the play by Dave Hamrick on that play.
And they're going to move him back.
Yeah, try and take him out of field goal range here.
I think they're in out of single point range now.
I think you're right, Pat.
I mean, watching the Sydenham third down specialty team, very difficult to kick those high balls against the wind. If you can get a low liner, you might get some roll off it. Kevin McDonald is the kicker for REGI, and it is a threat when your quarterback is also your kicker.
Second and 25, so they certainly have a long way to go on this play.
And they're in their pro set again.
Little draw. And Sean Reed reads that, comes over and makes a tackle on Murphy.
Only got about 2 or 3 yards on that particular play.
I think they have to kick for a single. I think they're too far for field goal now. In fact, I think Sydenham may be able to run it out. It may not be the worst thing in the world if they get them in somewhere around the 5 or 10 yard line.
Well, Sydenham's played some tough defense on this stand, but a couple penalties have really hurt REGI too. And it may have eliminated any scoring threat. We'll see if the punter can put it in for a point. He's got a long way to punt it.
Good snap. Good low kick.
He gets a low line drive into the end zone.
Van Peppen returns it to about the
10-yard line.
The 10-yard line. Yeah, the 10-yard line. That's not too bad for REGI. They got them in deep.
Have a little breathing room. So the punter was Kevin McDonald for REGI, and he hoofed that one pretty good into the wind. Well, we'll see if Sydenham does some passing now that they have the wind at their back. I suspect they'll try to run and get a little bit better field position before they put the ball up.
Troy's a fine throwing quarterback as well, but looks like they're going to stay in the ground.
Sweep.
And he is gone.
Oh, goes Reed again.
And he is gone. They are not going to catch him.
Wow. What a strong running back.
It's a great run. We got a little bit of inside-out pursuit by the deep backs who took a bit of the wrong angle. That's all Sean Reed needed. With his speed, he was gone.
Well, another big play by Sean Reed puts...
That's a 100-yard touchdown. That ball was on their own 10-yard line. It's a nice little sweep action, and does he have the burners? I think with his size, you underestimate how fast he's going. He looks like a big, burly back. He maybe should be a fullback. And
he's tough to bring down as well. The one REGI back there had the angle on him, had a shot at him, but
yes.
Owen O'Neill seemed to have a shot at him, but Reed continued right down.
Gave him a bit of a move, and that's all he needed. He was gone.
9:34 left, and they're Sydenham's up 13-7 and trying to add one more point to that total. Bad kick.
I think it was a bad snap, Gordon. Not
bad, yes, you're right. As a result of the bad snap, it was a bad kick.
So we have a 6-point differential here.
That's probably why Bay Ridge had so much trouble this year. Coach didn't know a kick and a snap or what was going on.
He did have some difficulties this year too. Well, a couple of 3 big plays over this first quarter and a half. So we'll look to see if REGI can mount a drive into the wind. We'll see if REGI decides to run as they go into the wind, or if they continue to put the ball up. Mark McDonald, or Kevin McDonald, I should say, has thrown the ball really well in this first quarter. Steve Van Peppen gets set to kick off. And he kicks it deep to 25. Dave Eves.
Oh, nice run. Nice run.
Oh, eluding tackles very well.
Great return. Great
all the way
return
up
by
to about
Dave
his
Eves.
43-yard line.
Just an excellent run and some great blocks out there. Number 40 made a fine block. Number 28 made a fine block.
Lee Hamilton and Oscar Marquez made a couple of fine blocks on that play to give REGI good field position. Well, you mentioned earlier that REGI had strong specialty teams, and it looks that they're well drilled, all coached in that area.
Well, they're in their pro back formation again, which they do pass out of sometimes, but usually they run. And here it is with Mark Murphy running off tackle right.
Nice 9-yard gain on the play.
That seems to be their bread and butter play all year long.
With Rob Bell and Mark Guerra are leading the way on that. I can't tell from here whether they're doing a double team at the point of attack and comboing off to the linebackers, or what's happening over there, but they've certainly opened up a nice off tackle hole. First man straight up the middle.
Looks like John Costa, number 65, opened a nice hole with Ryan Doherty, effectively blocking the center area as well.
Look who's going in the ball game. Looks like when things get tough, Steve Van Peppen and Sean Reed go into the ball game. Both fine defensive athletes. I know the Sydenham staff tries to play 12 in the offense, 12 in the defense, but at certain times you have to put in your top athletes.
Number 34, Gord Burt, has come in for REGI as well.
And it's Mark Murphy running that same off tackle play to the right again. And it looks like he's got another 5 or 6 yards.
Mark Murphy hits the hole very, very quickly, so if his guard and tackle and can make any block at all, then he's gonna get a little bit of a gain for them.
I haven't seen Mark run this year, but from what I'd heard, I thought he was a bigger back than he is. He isn't all that big. He's
no, that's what we said about him too, and we could not stop him running off tackle.
Strong.
He's not big in the sense of height, but I think you might find him more of a fire hydrant type of. There's a nice
the same off
play,
tackle
and he
play
drives,
again, and he drives for the first
he's
down.
got a first down.
Great leg power. Doesn't stop on that first contact. We have Mark Gara and Mike Dremel and Rob Bell over on that side of the line are doing a great job of opening up the off tackle hole for him.
I think the other play that's nice is that they're running away from. I think Steve Van Peppen went in as the defensive back, and Sean's in either corner or D end, and they're running away from them, which to me is good coaching.
Timon Garreau, Sydenham's left corner, is one of their finest tacklers this year. There's that little pass. Oh, and almost
close.
Almost picked off by
Steve Van Peppen read that play very well. And there was an example of the wind, I think, having an effect. Mark went to throw the pass out here, and it floated a little bit against that wind, giving Steve Van Peppen lots of time to get up and get involved in that play.
That pass was intended for number 20, Mark Conkle. And like you say, the wind held it up.
I think, and the other thing that might set up, and again, they got a safety back there, but they had no safety there. I think if Kevin looks that play again and then has an end go straight through, I think he might find that seam open.
It'll sweep to...
yeah, that's Mark Murphy running the ball again. They take their twin wideouts out there and block down with both of them and have the fullback leading him outside.
Actually, Sydenham shut that down fairly effectively.
So they've got 3rd and about 8 here.
Actually, a good pursuit by the Sydenham defense. They read the play well. You teach your athletes, everybody go to the ball, and there were 5 or 6 white shirts there flying at that area.
Kevin McDonald is kicking for REGI, and gets a high snap. It pulls her down.
And we have a flag on the play.
And I think it may be against...
And I'm sure we'll have another one for no yards.
We had too many men in the field.
I think you're right. Sydenham tried to call a timeout, but I believe they were too late.
It's unfortunate for REGI in this play because they're going to get called for no yards. If they hadn't got called for no yards, the 5-yard penalty would have been 3rd and about 2, and I'm not so sure you would kick against the wind on that situation.
Well, they have good field position, so I think you're right, Pat. They probably would go for it.
The 15-yard penalty for no yards, though, will...
Will they call this offsetting penalties, or will the first penalty with 13 men on the field take preference?
Well, we got some bright lights out there with the refereeing staff. You got Ray Piper out there and
Wayne
Norris. I mean, they're rocket scientists, both those guys. Wayne does the intercollegiate, of course, in the CIAU, well-respected official. Ray's done some intercollegiate refereeing in his past.
Lots of touch football.
Ray Piper is the head official here today. I guess they use the difference. They lost 5 yards, it appears, on that play.
So they're going to replay the down here.
Replay the down. Be 3rd and about 13 with 6 minutes and 15 seconds to go.
Well, that's a costly penalty for REGI.
Yes, it was. Battling into the wind. Kevin McDonald's back to punt. A little better snap this time. And a little better kick, too.
Kicked it towards the sideline.
No yards again.
Have no yards again.
I don't see any flag down. Oh, yes, there is a flag down.
Well, REGI is so conscious of Van Peppen and Reed returning a punt that they're down there so quickly that they have difficulty slowing down.
It also looked like the first man who got in there slipped a little bit and couldn't get out of the way.
He'll have to sharpen his skates, I think, for the next quarter. It's getting that cold out there, and
well, it's been 2 big sweeps that Sydenham has run with Sean Reed that scored the points for them. It'll be interesting to see if REGI perhaps adjusts their formation a little bit to try and take away some of this outside game.
And Sean's been effective running to their left on both long touchdowns.
Call. They didn't, no penalties. They disregarded the flag. The fellow fell in the restraining zone, I guess, and
wasn't
good call.
A threat.
There's Troy's first pass of the game.
Boy, I tell you, Steve Van Peppen was wide open. Number 10 and number 19.
Owen O'Neill and John Gaussel. Owen being the halfback on that side, and John Gaussel, the safety, coming over to give him a hand with Steve Van Peppen.
Well, it looks like Troy had a little bit of pressure that time and unleashed it a little earlier than he wanted to. But obviously they're going to attempt to throw it with the wind now that they have the wind.
5:22 left in the second quarter.
Same spread formation.
There's this sweep formation.
Oh, nice through, but just missed.
Owen O'Neill.
Great hit there by John Gaussel, number 10. Owen Neal did a good job of turning him in. And we had somebody, I didn't catch the number, who knifed through and almost got him in the backfield. I don't know, there was Keith Kirby, number 77. Or...
REGI's made a nice adjustment to that
Yes, they
formation. It is a running formation. They could throw off it, but they haven't yet, so they're going to fire as soon as they see that formation and the movement by the running back.
So Sydenham are now punting. Chris Kerr back to punt. And he's got the wind at his back. Gets a pretty good
Nice.
punt away.
Gets it to turn over.
Down to about
Edge by
48.
Mark
Mark Murphy. Oh, he turns upfield, made a nice move.
I think there's a face mask on the
I
play.
think
He's
you're
going to
right.
pick up some more. That was a tremendous kick, even if it was with the wind, and Mark Murphy is taking all those yards back with almost a 20-yard return plus face mask.
He certainly showed you some excellent versatility there. He made a nice move to get by a man, then great contact, ran right through the first tackler.
This is going to give REGI excellent field position with 4:24 left in the half. And they'll spot the ball at about Sydenham's 25-yard line.
Well, I guess if REGI can score here, it kind of shoots your theory down the drain for your prediction here, Pat.
That's what do I know anyway. I said, though, if they're going to win, I think Kevin had to throw the ball with some big plays. I don't think they're going to run it, even though Mark's run real well so far.
And they come the other way now with Eves. Dave Eves having a nice carry coming off tackle left. A little crossing action in the backfield where one goes one way and the other, and they give to the second man.
Nice tackle on the play by 43, Jeff Moxley.
And we got about 5 yards on that play. So with 3:40 to go, it's second and about 5 or 6. And REGI is staying in their normal twin backs, pro backfield.
Sweep action.
Sweep, but they're running a
great
tackle.
Great tackle
Scraped up.
by number 66 for Sydenham. We don't seem to have him listed here.
Would be 56. What right there? He's
Could be Tom O'Grady. Scraped up into the hole really well. His defensive end on that side. Made a
56,
nice
you're
hit.
right. Tom O'Grady made that tackle, and it was
So we have third and
excellent hit.
about 5.
And
And REGI's going to go for the 3 points by the looks of it.
kicking from about the 27-yard line, 28-yard line. It's a high snap, pulls her down,
nice kick.
and it's wide.
It's wide. They're going to give up the single. No, he comes out. And Van Peppen brings it out to about the 12 or 13-yard line. That was Owen O'Neill, number 19, for REGI attempting the field goal.
That was a good strong kick. Just went wide to the left. I think under maybe other circumstances they might have given up a single. That Sydenham might have given up a single. With 2:43 left in the half, you probably can run out most of the clock and go in at halftime with a lead.
Yeah, I would doubt that Troy Thompson would put the ball up at this stage, fearing an interception with 2:34 left in the quarter, in the half.
And we have that spread formation again with the ace backfield.
I was
And
wrong.
They're throwing the ball. Oh, and he's sacked. Big play by REGI.
Dropped on the play by number 56 for REGI, and that's Mark
Cantarutti. Made a fine play. So now we're going to have second and about 20.
Well,
And,
Gord, you said you wouldn't throw. They threw, and it cost them dearly. That's second and 20 yards to go, and they are on their own 4-yard line.
2 minutes left in the half, so
REGI has time if they can get the ball
Yes, you're
back
right.
to score. They have their 2 timeouts. They've got Sydenham buried.
that was a good rush put on by REGI.
Now, would you call a timeout after this play to save time on the clock, or wait till you have the ball? We'll see what Sydenham
See
has
what he
here.
does.
That's sort of a full house.
And they're running a
Little counter
counter.
to Reed.
He picked
It's
up.
a nice run.
Yeah, he
Got
got
some
10
decent
back, 10
field
or 11 or
position.
12 back, but I think they're into a kicking situation here. 3rd and maybe 8.
1:30 left, and they have the wind at their back, so I think they feel a little more secure moving it out from the goal line area.
And looks like Ray is about to blow the time in here. So with no timeouts being taken, Regi's probably going to have about a minute left and a half when they get the ball here.
Chris Kerr standing on his own goal line. No, and there's a flag on
penalty.
Play a good
great
what a
kick.
fine kick.
Oh,
and he touched it. There's a touchdown if he can pick that ball up.
And Sydenham has recovered. We'll have to see what the flag is. Number 33, Ruben Burnett, jumps on the ball.
I thought the flag actually was the REGI man on this side of the field offside. If it is, Sydenham's going to have the ball.
What a great punt by Chris Kerr.
Just a fine punt. Now, Mark Murphy had trouble with catching the ball. It did touch his arm, touch his hand, and a heads-up play by number 33 there on that
Ruben Burnett.
Ruben Burnett. Well, they have a 104. Let's see what Sydenham can do in 104.
This could be a big turnaround. If Sydenham gets points here,
can score here. It'll certainly boost their confidence. And they're on Regi's, just inside Regi's 40-yard line.
And the clock starts here once the ball's been snapped.
Rolls out, Troy rolls out, passes. Oh, and it's
intercepted.
Picked off.
Six, Mark Thompson is the defensive half on that side. Looked like it went right through the receiver's hands, and he was Johnny on the spot there. His tip drills paid off.
I tell you, Regi had some good pressure on Troy Thompson.
Outstanding. It looked like he tried to roll out or sprint out, and he couldn't get outside the corner.
Well, he went out so far, it almost looked like he was running a quarterback sweep.
But the pass was actually a good pass. It hit Steve Van Peppen in the hands. It went right through. It is cold, the ball a little bit slippery, and a fine heads-up play by the Regi defender. Well, there's a break maybe to kill the rest of the half here.
Keep this score really close. With Sydenham leading 13-7, 56 seconds
See
left.
whether Regi is going to try and run at the clock here again. No, they're looking for more.
And another interception.
Oh, he dropped it.
Yes, they've ruled it complete.
Intercepted by Steve Van Peppen. He must have hit the ground and lost control of the ball, and the ground can't cause the fumble, so they gave the interception.
Well, two quick turnovers. We'll see if Sydenham will try to capitalize at this stage.
There's still 51 seconds left. There's lots of time here.
The ball is right on the 35-yard line.
Troy's dropping back.
And he's looking for number 7.
Oh, and
58,
nice play by
Damon Dagnoni got in it again.
He did.
Outstanding job by Dagnoni there. He read the backside end coming across.
Again, Regi front four coming very strong and putting pressure on the Sydenham
We're
quarterback.
trying to hit Huey Van Conant there, number 7 coming across.
So it's second down.
Still 46 seconds.
Centering the ball for Sydenham is Joe O'Neill.
We got a twin flankers to the right, and we got a sweep right with Sean Reed, and he has nothing. 44, 58.
58, Damon Dagnoni again in on that tackle, that stop, helped by number 44, John Garraud.
I'd say it might be Guerra.
Thanks, Pat.
I wonder if Sydenham will try and just kick the single here to get a 7-point differential.
Well, it could be a big point. Now that's a long punt even with the wind, although Chris Kerr has been kicking very effectively.
Well, that last one had to be a 50-yard punt. It was just outstanding. Had lots of air under the ball as well, had the great hang time.
Actually, now would be a good opportunity to fake the punt. Good field position.
Okay, so Bay Ridge would fake the punt. Y'all heard that right here. I think I would kick the ball and try to get the 7-point lead at the half.
That's a long old kick. I'd be afraid that they wouldn't get it in. But it's nice to be up here and predicting what the team will do.
It's easier to call the game from up here for sure.
A little confusion back there. They've taken off Mark Murphy. and they've dropped one single back. Number 15, Carlos Ponte, and 36, Mark Thompson is moved back now as well.
Coach Dickey going on the field here to talk to the troops, make sure they have the messages all right.
We have the Sydenham cheerleaders doing just a super job down there. 22 of them all in unison. Great job from the Sydenham cheerleaders.
Well, Sydenham's called a timeout, obviously. How to decide what to do on this third down situation.
I think they're trying to ice the shooter, as they say, but I don't know, maybe...
Well, I tell you, Regi's front five, Keith Kirby,
Joe Salamone, Mark Candaruti, Lee Hamilton, Craig Smith, they've done a fine job.
They sure have. They've kept that middle stuffed up. If it wasn't for a couple of big sweeps. Been very, very effective. And time's whistled in. See what Sydenham's decided to do during that conference.
Okay, so they're in punt formation, but we have an onside man here. Interesting little twist.
77. Matt Rennie. Looks like inside.
Great snap.
Oh, another good kick, but I think he'll get this one out.
And he does. It's out of the end zone. Oh, and he breaks it.
Oh, nice.
All the way out to the 25-yard line. A very nice run back.
That's a fine tackle by number 77, Matt Rennie.
Well, I'll tell you, if Matt Rennie doesn't make that tackle, it's going to be an interesting foot race to see if he can outrun the last two Sydenham defenders.
28 seconds left. I don't know if Regi will be content to run this timeout or if they'll try to put the ball up.
Well, after throwing the interception last time around, I think I'd be tempted to keep the ball on the ground and
keep it close.
Live with the score for halftime.
Score with 28 seconds to go, Sydenham 13 and Regi 7.
And they give to the second man, Mark Murphy, and he breaks it up the middle.
Nice
and
run.
Has an excellent gain of about 16 or 17 yards out to his 42.
Now would you throw, Coach?
Now they're in pretty decent
Even if they
position.
turn the ball over,
sure.
they're well out.
Throw the ball long, sure. I don't think I'd try the short out, though.
No. A little dangerous at this stage, but like you say, a long ball.
Yeah, I like the play we talked about earlier, where you have the outside receivers doing an out. Maybe take a quick look at them and look at one of your inside receivers going straight through, although Sydenham now does have the inside safeties. And we're running off tackle.
5 seconds remaining, so probably the last play of the half coming up.
Now will they go for the long one? They're bringing number 80 in.
Number 80 is Adam Deere.
I would imagine Sydenham will drop off quite deep with their deep backs here.
Well, he won't beat them. Well, he might beat them long on the right side. No, a little handoff.
And they're content to run the time out on the clock.
Yeah, great first half, though. An exciting first half.
Yeah, very close. The score is 13 for Sydenham and 7 for the Regi Panthers.
Kickoff, and Sydenham's receiving the ball here, and they hand off to Reed on the reverse, and it looks like okay, Regi is down him here about his 24-yard line. Excellent coverage.
Just talked to Ron Dickey, one of the coaches of the Sydenham team, and they had the choice this half. They decided to take the ball. They'd like to basically eat up the clock in the third quarter against the wind, if they could do that. And then hopefully they're either tied or winning going in the fourth quarter with the wind. So that's their strategy, and we'll see how it works out.
And they're coming up in their normal L formation here in the backfield. And it's a pitch and a counter off tackle play to Steve Van Peppen. Regi's read it very well, and at most he's got a couple yards here.
It's one of the strategies at halftime. They decide they've been showing power to one side and basically running to that side. What they thought they might do is show them power to one side and go weak side. Again, as Wayne just said, it didn't really fool Regi. They picked up only 2 yards in the play.
Now they've gone back to the power eye we saw earlier. And they gave it to second man.
And he'll be close, a couple yards short of the first down, so I suspect they'll punt on this play.
Hard to go wrong handing the ball to Sean Reed. Very, very fine running back. Well, this certainly puts some pressure on Regi, I think, to produce in this quarter while you have the wind. And they should get the ball here in good field position. Sydenham's kicking into a pretty strong wind here from their own 33-yard line.
Well, we'll see how Kerr fares out punting into the wind. A little lower, not a bad kick.
And the up back caught it.
79. Mike Drimmel.
Excellent keeping his balance there. He was hit low and well by one of the Sydenham players, managed to keep his feet, gain another 7 or 8 yards.
Yeah, fine catch by Mike Drimmel. Mike's the brother of Catherine Drimmel.
And it looks like
Frontenac Secondary School.
Holding penalty by on Regi.
Oh, it's a big call. It backs them up to center field here.
That's a good kick by Chris Kerr there. I think much lower, and it ball carries farther. Though anything that's is high, it's just going to blow back. So he's made the adjustment, I think, and that's the way you kick into the wind.
Sydenham's chosen to keep Van Peppen and Reed on defense. There'll be a couple of tired guys at the end of the game.
There's no safety again for Sydenham. That seam is open if he can actually hit him.
There it is. Oh, boy, they had isolated number 79 on a linebacker.
Dave
Hamrick?
Hamrick, and I'll tell you, if he didn't put his hand up,
they're certainly looking to exploit that middle where there isn't a safety.
79, the
Mike Drimmel.
Mike Drimmel, the intended receiver, he was gone.
And Kevin McDonald did an excellent job of looking one way and then coming back the other.
Oh.
Back to the ace backfield. A little mix-up in the Sydenham defense here. Throwing the quick out. And it's a nice play, but they're going to be a couple of yards short of the first down here.
And that was Corey Lutz that pulled that pass in, and I think you're right. A couple of yards short.
Well, I think if they're a yard short or so, I think they're going to have to go for it. I think they need points. I think they need 2 scores. And I think they may need them with the win at their back.
Third and about a yard and a half to go.
And they are going for it.
Be interesting to see if they, they're in their pro backfield, and whether they'll do the little crossing action with the backs here. Quarterback sneak, and he appears to have it.
Yeah.
Oh, he fumbled the ball.
And Sydenham has recovered. The referee signals Sydenham ball.
The referee signals Sydenham ball for on the fumble with just a quarterback sneak, and he had the first down.
I think Dave Hamrick recovered that fumble. So that's another costly turnover.
Sydenham with their L formation here on offense. And Troy Thompson is...
flare pass.
Yeah.
Oh, and he just overthrows Van Peppen.
Little swing pass to the back coming out of the backfield there.
Second and 10, so they're in probably a passing situation too.
I'll be interested to see how the players adjust to the lights. Again, all high school games are during the day. This is the first time they probably played a night game.
Actually, the light seems a little bit uneven around the field out there. Oh, he did a nice job to get away there. It's an excellent run, but it still winds up really only being about a 3-yard gain. And we had tackle being made by Damon Dagnoni again.
Damien had Dagnoni had him for about a 20-yard loss there, and actually Troy Thompson did a fine play in getting away from him. REGI is getting excellent penetration by their defensive line, just outstanding penetration.
I think actually it was number 45, Mike Ranger, the linebacker on this side, who finally made the tackle.
Just throw back to punt again into the wind.
Well, the fans are really into it out here.
Oh,
a little shorter kick up in the air this time.
Bounces. And 79 Dribble takes it and gets knocked out of bounds just past center field.
So REGI gets excellent field position again.
Well, I think REGI'd really like to score with the wind, and Sydenham's motivation will be to stop them during the wind. So it'll be interesting. This will be an interesting quarter. 7:52 remaining.
Coming back out with the ace backfield and twin on both sides.
I think the tight end, I think that could be the receiver open if the other receiver could, keeping him in, however.
There it is. There's that post pattern. Good coverage by Steve White on that play.
Yeah, Steve's playing a little softer now. I'm not sure he had the coverage before. He's playing a little deeper. They're gonna have a tough time beating him deep now. I think the offside end on that, one of those tight ends.
Yeah, a curl type pattern in the middle, or just hook up underneath that safety where there's quite a bit of room, rather than throwing the 35 or 40-yard pass.
Back out in their passing formation, REGI.
And they're leaving both ends in, or have been. Both ends are still in.
Little slant pass, and it's read well.
Picked up about 7 on the play. Number 25.
Number 77, Matt Rene, makes a nice tackle on the play.
And it was Dave Eves catching the ball on that play. Nice little pattern, and excellent tackle, though, to make sure he didn't get any more yards on that play.
And it looks like REGI is going to punt this time. They sent in 4 replacements, probably their kicking team. Gord, is this run off the kick, or is this a play action off the kick?
I suspect they'll play it safe and kick on this one.
Okay,
I'll try and maintain field position.
It'll be interesting to see if they attempt to punt away from Reed and Van Peppen, like they've done on the kickoff. Oh, and
there's
the offside.
That'll give REGI a first down.
That's a big penalty. Probably get a decent run back here to boot. Oh, and there he goes.
Well, excellent tackle.
Yeah, excellent tackle by number 17.
Kevin McDonald, the quarterback and punter. But if that is offside Sydenham, that'll be a first down for REGI.
I believe that was
the defensive
number
end.
72, Steve White. It looked like he was up on the line at that point and stepped across. And they've signal offside Sydenham. That is a costly penalty, as you've mentioned.
6 minutes and 21 seconds left in the third quarter. 13-7 for Sydenham. Well, the fans have hung tough there. Nobody's left. Here we are. It's bitterly cold. A nice crisp wind.
Can't believe the numbers that are still here.
Outstanding football, Canadian weather here. No domes, no artificial. The field's just good
nature, eh?
Good football weather.
And it looks like REGI's in a pass formation. A little slant pass, and oh,
boy.
That was almost picked off
by Steve Van Peppen. He read it well.
For a touchdown.
Yeah, if he had caught that, there was no one in his way to stop him for 6 points for Sydenham.
I think Kevin McDonald, what he's going to have to do is take a quick peek to the offside and then fire it back, because he's looking for his receiver, and Steve Van Peppen's reading the eyes, and the second he looks at his receiver, Steve's going for the ball. It's good defensive back.
Well, we're back to the pro set now.
I'm surprised REGI hasn't run a screen.
Here comes the screen right.
There it is. Nice tackle.
And he actually ran by his blockers there.
Number 50, Dave Hamrick's had a heck of a game today. He was in on that tackle and read the screen extremely well.
Yeah, he made an excellent play there. Although I really thought the running back for REGI could have stayed upfield a little bit longer. Let his blockers get out in front of him. And Kevin McDonald is back to punt again.
Sydenham's defense has come up with a couple of good stands. And
it's blocked.
And it'll be Sydenham's ball on REGI's 55-yard line.
Big play. And
I think Tom O'Grady, 56, blocked the punt. I'm not sure if he got the ball back, but
I think you're right.
I think 56 blocked it, and number
20, Paul Isles,
number 20
on it. Whether he came up with it or not, I'm not sure.
Well, I'm not sure if that's the cable net turning point or not, but that sure is a lot of yards to lose when you can't get your third down punt with the wind, which should travel 40, 45 yards.
I think you'd have to say Sydenham's doing exactly what they'd like to do while they're playing against the wind here. They're running the quarter out. REGI hasn't scored any points yet.
4:34 remaining.
Power I formation, and they give it to Sean Reed again.
And he powers away very close to a first down.
Yeah, he's got about 9 yards on that. It almost is like he's running straight into the
Paul Lake and Mike Cousinon are doing a fine job.
He slides out off guard after looking like he's going to run straight up the middle.
Yeah, the offensive line has been doing a good job on that particular play. And they're still in that power I formation.
And it's the same play.
Well, you go with what works, and Sydenham obviously are doing that.
Got about 4 yards or so on that play, which would be good for the first down. Joe Salamone and Damon Dagnoni were in on the tackle for that play for REGI.
Number 40, Lee Hamilton, was a little slow getting up, but he seems to be okay.
They've been running right at him the last several plays here. I'm sure he's feeling the heat from the Sydenham line. Back in the L formation.
Looks like defensive offside. We'll have to see if he was in fact pulled. It was number 60, Craig Smith, that appeared to have come offside. Yes, and it looks like the initial signal looks like REGI offside, defensive offside. So penalties have hurt REGI over the course
they
of the
hurt
day
them
today.
in the first half too, and I'm wondering, you never know what key play is sort of a turning point or crucial, but they have picked up their share of penalties.
So it's 1st and 5 now from about the 30-yard line, and they give it to Steve Van Peppen going off tackle, and he's going to be close to a first down again, maybe a yard or two short.
Sydenham will lose some of their top athletes this year. Troy Thompson, the quarterback's graduating. Steve Van Peppen, I believe, is graduating. Sean Reed is graduating.
And Paul Isles, I believe, and Chris Kerr.
Chris Kerr.
Now they have a number of, the offensive line was fairly young in looking at a lot of the names, so a number of them will be back. And they have some backfielders that have been working behind Reed and the boys. So they all, and there's Steve White, who's tackled behind the line of scrimmage, I believe.
So it's going to be 3rd and about 5 or 6 here.
Yeah, they lost on the play.
And kicking against the wind, I assume they'll punt rather than try a field goal here.
Well, with 2:20 to go, I think Coach Dickey, when he said he'd like to get through the third quarter against the wind, either still maintain the lead or even if they're tied, I think he'd be thrilled right now. Sydenham, a team, both offensive, defensive, have done their job.
Bit of a low snap, but he gets away a fine punting in that wind.
I'm surprised there were no yards on that play.
And that's Carlos Ponte returning the ball for REGI.
And number 77, Matt Rennie, was in on that tackle.
REGI will be starting deep in their own end.
Huey Van Conant was in on that tackle as well.
So I believe they're on about their own 14-yard line here. And they're going with their pro set, the twin running backs. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little off-tackle play. And there it is. And some very nice running. Nearly broke it. That's Mark Murphy again.
Outstanding run. This Mark's only in grade 12. He'll be back next year, so that's a talented running back. They will lose Kevin McDonald, who's a fine student. He's an 80-plus percenter. Kevin hopes to go to Queens next year. But they will have Mark Murphy back, strong running back, and they have some great juniors coming up.
So we have 2nd and 1, and this time it's a handoff straight up the middle, but to Mark Murphy again.
And it appears like he has made the first down. They've moved the markers. 1:06 remaining in the third quarter.
I wonder if they have enough field position now where they feel comfortable throwing the ball. They're only going to get a couple more plays here with the wind. And it's the off-tackle play, but I think it was Dave Eves this time carrying the ball. If I'm not mistaken.
Actually, I think Murphy had it again.
Murphy again.
He's certainly their workhorse, isn't he?
Oh, he is.
I'm surprised they're not putting the ball up. Having the wind at their backs, last opportunities that they'll have. And looking at the flags, fairly significant wind right now.
Actually, it looks like the wind has actually picked up and stronger now.
Great run.
Oh, really nice run out to the 45 here. A gain of about 15 on that.
That's Mark Murphy again.
Seems to be a slight pause in the play right here. Mark Murphy's just running outstanding, and you have to give credit to the offensive line. He's hitting the holes quickly. The offensive line, particularly in the right side.
Boy, they're really exploiting that right side, aren't they?
The right side of the REGI.
Rob Bell, Mark Guerra, Mike Dremel over on that side of the line, opening up the off-tackle hole really well for REGI.
And
this is the last play, I guess, of the third quarter. No? That was the last play of the third quarter.
Well,
so at the end of three-quarter time, the score remains the same as what it was at halftime. Sydenham Golden Eagles 13, the REGI Panthers 7.
REGI seems to be moving the ball pretty effectively in this last series.
They've run the ball very, very well here, picking up to 5-6 yards each time. They're going to have the ball on their own 50 here for a 2nd and 5. It'll be interesting to see how much they think they're going to be able to throw the ball against the wind, although so far they've been more effective in this half running than throwing. And REGI's coming up in their pro fullback set here, the wide receivers. And here's our crossing action, and we have Murphy going off tackle. Looks like he's got the first down again.
He's getting 5-6 yards on every carry, and again they're going right side pretty well on every carry.
And Sydenham is right up on the line. They have 9 guys right up on the line, and
they're getting that crease through the front line.
Sydenham needs to shut down that off-tackle play if they want to prevent REGI from scoring.
And REGI comes up in the same set. Boy, the defense is up very tight.
And looks like a time infraction.
Delay of game here, I would think.
Procedure.
Legal procedure. Wow.
Right.
Delay of game. I believe it's 25 seconds to get the play off from the time the referee whistles it in. Okay,
Off
and
tackle. And they've shut that particular play down fairly effectively.
yeah, that was a power where both backs were headed through the same hole rather than the crossing action we've seen earlier.
Tom McGrady makes a tackle on that play.
It's actually about 2nd and 12 now, 2nd and 11.
Well, if Regi's going to pass against the wind, this is an opportunity that they may have to take. No, I was wrong. They're off
run the
tackle
off
again.
tackle again. And they made good yards on it. Without the penalty, they'd be in good shape, but they're well short. It's going to be 3rd and about 5.
They're going to be forced to punt. Still lots of time left. 10:13 on the clock.
Jeff Moxley there making the last tackle. I think Jeff's in his last year
Yes, he
at
is.
Sydenham.
Yeah, Jeff's had a good season. Jeff's had 32 tackles over the season with Sydenham this year. And almost blocked at punt by Tom O'Grady again. Fielded by Van Peppen. His short return.
That was an excellent punt by Kevin McDonald that time. Even though he got the ball up in the air against that wind, he still got pretty good distance out of it. Well, this is a big series of downs for REGI. They can't afford to let Sydenham have a long drive now. They've got to maintain this field position.
And it'll be interesting to see if Sydenham, in fact, puts the ball up in the air now that they have their wind again.
And here we are in the power eye. So far, I think it's only Sean Reed who's carried the ball when they've been in this formation.
And he carries it again.
It looks like he got about 6 yards out of that.
58.
Damon Dagnoni, our linebacker again, making the tackle on that. I think he's been in on about 3/4 of the running plays for tackles for REGI. He's having an excellent game.
Again, Tim Campsell and Brett White doing a good job of opening that hole for Reed.
So about 2nd and 4 here, and they've gone back to their L formation. And second man.
Looks like Reed has made the first down again.
And Joe Salamone was in on the tackle on that play, but gain was good enough for a first down for Sydenham.
Well, they're certainly using up the time on the clock, 8:34 left. And REGI needs to stop this drive and get the ball. Power eye again by Sydenham. And first
Gave
man
it to the
this
first
time.
man this time.
Paul Isles is tackled right about the line of scrimmage. He may have gotten a yard.
78.
Yeah, they ran right at Joe Salamone that time, and Joe did an excellent job of slicing through the line and hitting the ball carrier right on the line of scrimmage. At most, they gained a yard. Joe being an all-star from last season.
So it's second and about 9 yards. And
And
Troy
about to
drops
throw.
back to pass.
And he's sacked. Great play. Looked like he was looking for number 33 coming across the
Number
middle on that one.
44, John Guerra, came in strongly and sacked Troy Thompson. on that
An
particular
excellent
play.
defensive secondary there, because Troy had the time to throw. Is obviously whoever he intended to throw to, his receivers were well covered, and then he looked for a second receiver, and by that time Joe Guerra had done his job.
He was the corner on this side. Actually, I think he was called to fire on that particular play.
Well, I don't think Troy's going to throw the ball unless the receiver is open as well.
And snap. Oh,
Big turnover here. Oh, REGI is going to have the ball in around the Sydenham 20-yard line. Big play there.
44.
Number 44, again,
That's
John Guerra
making the big
coming
play.
through, having a difficult time stopping him.
Well, that's too bad. One of the things that is, for Sydenham, one of the things that I've been impressed with all day has been the center snap on the punts. They've been getting back there crisply in a tight spiral, and that's the first poor snap of the day for them.
Well, about 7 minutes to go in the game, and we have about 21-yard line, 22-yard line. I would say this is could be Regi's probably only chance to score. It's tough to score if the length of the field here. They got 21 yards to go, 22 yards to go.
And it looks like they're just pounding up the center.
Yeah, gave it to Mark Murphy going straight ahead.
Between Ryan Doherty and Rob Ball and John Costa doing a good job opening some holes up the middle. Couple of substitutions again by Sydenham. Reed is been inserted along with Van Peppen on defense.
And we have about a 2nd and 5 situation here. And looks like
off tackle and read extremely well by Sydenham. A big play. Big tackle.
They were right in the hole waiting for him that time.
Timon Garrow in on that tackle.
Well, somebody's seen him miss a block there because watching him there, nobody hit him, and he met the ball carrier in the backfield. So a little missed assignment there.
I think Tom O'Grady was in on that as well.
Interesting decision here with 3rd and 5, time winding down, and they're going for the first down here.
Well, I think with 5 minutes left, it's a good gamble. And again to Murphy.
And he's going to have the first down, or very close. Boy, oh boy, Murphy runs so well up in there. He's on by the line before they even know there's a hole there. And it's almost like the linebackers are even having to chase him from behind. Looks like it's 1st and goal from about the 9-yard line.
Well, Sydenham needs to come up with a big defensive stand here. Mark Murphy.
Same play coming right up inside there. Obviously, again, Ryan Doherty, Rob Bell, Mark Guerra on that side of the line doing an excellent job clearing out. And down on the goal line, you know they're slanting in along the defensive line, and they're coming hard. And
we have an injury by a Sydenham player. Looks like a Sydenham player down at this point.
It's very impressive when you can see a team deep in their other team's end, running inside the ends and getting that push for 4 or 5 yard gains. That's really very difficult down here. It appears to us that it's number 50, David Hamrick for Sydenham, who's down at this point.
He's been having a good game up to this point as well.
And it is number 50, David Hamrick, who's played very well throughout the game today. So linebacker in where all the heavy-duty hitting is going on.
Yeah, good tough ball game today, and there have been very few injuries, and that really was the first one I think that stopped play today. And it's a cold day, and there's no question you feel it when you're hit, and you feel if you're the hitter. So both teams playing very tough football.
And Sydenham's called a timeout here, and it appears as if defensive coordinator Lynn Snyder has gone out to talk to his troops.
But Chris Kerr has been substituted in as well. I think they really would like to stop that off tackle that's been so effective for REGI. Murphy just seems to drive, and gets those 4, 5, 6 yards.
Looks like the offensive line just blocks down, and he follows the guard tackle, and when they block down, he squares up and follows them straight up the field. He doesn't slash to the outside. He hits the line and then cuts in behind them, and sort of they're just driving the man back, the offensive line, and Mark Murphy's just doing a terrific job with the ball. He hits the hole quick.
Sydenham's got the big defensive line. I'm very impressed with the fact the offensive line for REGI is able to get that forward momentum, that forward surge.
Sean Pierce has come out of the game for Sydenham, and they put in Paul Isles, who is playing fullback and offense. So they obviously tried to beef up that defensive line. And here's a big play coming up.
Second and goal from about the 5-yard line. And they give it to Murphy going
and
inside.
Is he hit?
Big hit.
Is he hit?
Big hit. Still a gain of 2 or 3, though, I think.
Chris Kerr looks like
Kerr,
he was
yeah.
in on that crunching tackle. And Paul Isles as well.
Well, it looks more like a 1-yard gain.
This could be the ball game right here, 3rd down, and they have to score the touchdown. They're on about the 4 yard line there.
And Regi's taking a timeout to talk over their strategy here and figure out exactly what play they'd like to run.
Big decision, 4:41 left. And this could be the play of the game.
4 yards is a lot to gain in one play down here running the ball. On the other hand, you've gotten here running the ball. Do you chance putting it up? It's a very tough decision for the coaches here.
Yes, it is.
Sydenham's obviously beefed up the line and linebackers and are going to make it tough for you to run inside the ends.
And again, Regi's made a couple substitutions. Number 65 has come into the game. John Costa. Number 24, Sean Diaz, has come out, along with number 20, Mark Compo. So some real strategy being discussed at this stage, offensively and defensively.
What do you call her, coaches? Timeout Regi again.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's armchair quarterbacks. Everybody in the crowd likes to say, well, what would you do? Gordy, how would you see it?
Well, I think I'd go with Murphy. He's been the bread and butter for them all day, and they haven't stopped them for a loss at this stage. That was the toughest hit they've had on him, and he only got a yard, but I think I'd go to him.
Well, I agree with you, Gordy, in that I would go to Murphy, but I think down here, Sydenham's going to be looking for that. And I think what I would do to get Murphy the ball down here in this particular situation would be to run play-action pass where perhaps he runs into that off-tackle hole without the ball and then dump the ball to him from the quarterback. It's a tough decision, though. You've gotten here with the run. Running down here is going to be very tough.
4 yards.
I don't like running outside the ends down here. Running sideways often leads to a loss. So I think I would go with play-action pass.
Well, I'm glad you guys called it. I'll just, whatever they call, that's the one I would do.
I kind of think they'll pass.
I'm gonna go with a little play action here. I think they're gonna put all that action into the line, and
well, they've gone with a full house backfield here.
I guess they are gonna run.
Oh, and a mix-up. And a mix-up. The play of the game. The play of the game right there. Number 4, Chris Kerr was in on that tackle, along with number 10, Kevin Brown. Big play. Big play.
But the timing was off.
Yes.
The ball was there. All the timing was off.
They were going to give the ball to Mark Murphy, but he actually ran right into Kevin McDonald.
I think 25 there in the end had the ball.
Did he? Was it Dave Eves?
Dave
Yes,
Eves.
I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
like you say, there was a mix-up. The timing seemed to be off.
If you're Regi and you play great defense here, you get maybe one more crack. There is 4:24 to go. If you come up with the big stand here, you'll still get the ball in good field position and get one more crack. So they're not out of it yet.
No, Sydenham's fired up. If they can get a couple of first downs, see, they're really running to the ball.
And they're in the power eye, and you expect Sean Reed to get the ball.
And he does.
Boy, oh boy. Great surge from both lines there.
Yeah.
Very tough play and a tough 2 or 3 yard gain there.
Battle of the trenches right now.
If we get into third down, do you give up 2 points and kick off?
Actually.
I mean, rather than kick from your own goal line?
Be interesting. Chris Kerr has been punting the ball extremely well with the wind, although
Yes.
he's had one block.
Yes,
This way you'd get a free kick, and
that's right.
look at the adjustment that Regi's made on defense.
Here comes the sweep again.
Oh, and he's outside.
He's outside. And he's got the first down.
There is another big play by
big play.
Sean
What an
Reed.
interesting. Regi had 3 defensive people, at least 12, 15 yards wide, and Sean Reed still got outside on that play. That's amazing.
He comes in, he reads, he slides out. Big play. Got the field position, good field position at this stage.
Oh, I guess
the 3 people they put out on this side of the field did an excellent job of getting upfield, blocking their men, or at least screening the man so that Reed had that lane to the outside. Well, that was a big play. I get to run quite a bit of time off the clock with making that first down.
3:03 remaining.
And sweep the other way.
White.
Nothing this time.
Giving
Loss
that ball
on the play.
to Steve White.
And REGI has used both their timeouts, so they cannot stop the clock now. Any other way than getting the ball outside or incomplete passes here.
.339 on the clock, and second and about 13 yards to go. A pass situation, but I'd be doubtful whether they attempt to put it up.
They're in their power eye. You'd expect Sean Reed to get the ball once again. And they are going to throw from this formation. Thompson made it to the outside, but I believe he's short of the first down.
Short.
Oh, and we've got a flag at the end of the play.
Boy, I tell you, if that's another penalty on REGI's behalf.
If that's a UR, it'll be an automatic first down, I believe.
And I believe it is against REGI.
Would that have been a late hit out of bounds?
Roughness.
Oh, it is.
Well, that hurts.
That really hurts.
REGI's opportunities.
They had stopped. They were in third down. So they had to punt the ball.
And REGI would have had over 2 minutes with which to work. Now you know that they're at best you're going to be down around 1 minute to work, and of course you've got the field position change as well. If they can stop Sydenham here, they're still looking at getting the ball deep in their own end with not a lot of time on the clock.
Well, we'll see if Sydenham can get another first down or two. REGI's up pretty tight defensively, looking for the run.
And they're going to throw again, and he's looking to throw deep, and he's there.
Just,
that's a strange call. I don't know. There's 2 minutes to go in the game. You take, you run the ball for 3 downs. You're going to give REGI
down to
under a minute to go. I don't understand that. I know if it works, everybody is happy about it, but now the clock is stopped. REGI, I think, will get the ball back, and maybe with more than a minute to go.
Yeah, but the clock will not start till the ball's been snapped. So that's a big play in REGI's favor there.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't run it on that occasion, but they didn't get hurt. Second down, 149.
And
Sean Reed,
right up the middle.
Counter play.
Well,
third down and about 5, it looks like. I imagine they will play it safe and punt.
Well, REGI's going to get the ball. What a great ending to a great football game. Sydenham scored early. It looked like, my goodness, if they do that, sweep at will, and REGI came right back with a long bomb. And Sean Reed has also scored on another long 100-yard game, and that's basically been it, 13-7. It's been a great football game.
And a really entertaining
It's been lots of offense, but not a lot of scoring.
Chris Kerr back to punt here.
Yeah, a bad snap the last time. See what happened?
And a bit of a floater.
Ooh, he just got that one away.
I don't know how that wasn't blocked.
There's got to be no yards.
No yards in that
Trimmel.
one.
That's Mike Trimmel again, bringing it out to his own 45, and they tack another 15 onto that.
We're going to have a minute and 4 left.
This is going to be a great ending.
It's going to go right down to the wire by the looks of things.
Typical Canadian football here. Game's going to be determined in the last minute.
Oh, they've waved the flag off, the no yards.
Well, that's a break.
Yeah,
I understand that if you're kicking against the wind and the wind holds it up. I'm not so sure about kicking with.
There may have been a dropped flag as well. That's what it looks like it was.
Well, certainly that man I thought was inside the 5-yard limit.
But Sydenham's not going to argue.
No.
Well, they've got a minute. REGI's got a minute and 4 seconds.
We got to throw. Running the ball's no good now.
No, they just don't have time.
And they're going with the pro backfields. I'm still surprised they aren't in the ace. They are throwing.
Oh. Oh. Gee, I think 4 or 5 guys had a hand on that hot potato.
Looked like a volleyball play there, going from one hand to another. And that only took 5 seconds off the clock. So you can see if you can complete some of those passes, there's lots of time to make it down there.
I just, the formation's odd. Sydenham knows they're going to throw. It seems to me REGI had great success with that spread, ace backfield. It seems to me.
There it is there.
And here we are now with that formation.
And look at this. Look at the center. Oh, and he took his eye off the ball. He had it and took his eye off the ball and was hit by Steve Van Peppen, number 25, I believe it was.
Yes, it was 25 there for REGI. He looked like he just.
Davies.
Well, looking to go downfield at this stage.
Yeah.
He had about 8 or 9 yards. He didn't have the first down, and it looks like he was going to be tackled immediately. But now they need the 10. I guess this is the ball game here. REGI hasn't got any timeout, so Sydenham can just down the ball and they'll run the clock out.
Well, this has been an exciting game. 55 seconds left. 13-7. Sydenham drops back to pass,
and he's throwing deep.
Oh,
and he was open.
It always amazes me how somebody in these situations actually gets open deep in the middle. They always teach those deep backs to never let anyone behind you. And in a situation like this, you'd think you'd give a little more cushion.
Nice throw by Kevin McDonald, and just out of the...
Just inches from a completion.
Well, I guess Sydenham will run out the clock. It's been, as I said, an exciting game.
Yeah, we should congratulate Adrian Tick Langlois, the convener of the Football League. He's had a terrific job this year. I think all the teams in the league had improved immensely. We saw KCVI win a ball game, an exciting ball game. Holy Cross getting into the quarterfinals, and they're beginning to come up with a powerful team. Loyalist had victory, and they look like they're improving.
KCVI, their first victory in 3 years.
And some of the teams like Frontenac and Bay Ridge and LaSalle playing some good ball. Any one of them maybe could have been in the finals. So it's been an exciting league. I know, talking to Tick Langlois, he has very few problems with the coaches and the players, and he does a great job and should be commended for that.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a season all around, and this typifies this year's senior football, where it goes right down to the wire. And the two top teams, number 1, number 2, met in the final, and it's been a closely fought battle.
And Sydenham going down, Troy Thompson going down on one knee here, and they'll let the clock run as much as possible, run this out.
I guess we should thank CableNet for doing such a great job. I mean, great coverage here by the CableNet crew.
I don't think any time came off that clock. Oh, it's off now. Plays.
Is that Len Coyle down there on the didn't hit the switch?
Yeah, we'd like to congratulate the coaches of both teams as well on a fine season. Head coach Glenn Williamson for the REGI Panthers and Ron Dickey for Sydenham Golden Eagles have done a great job to prepare these teams to be here today.
Well, Sydenham used a time count violation, so now, well, I guess REGI could decline the penalty. It was 2nd and 15. Referees are discussing the options. So now it will be 3rd down.
Sydenham's going to have to punt here, and REGI's going to get one more chance.
Sydenham will have to punt the ball. I guess anything could happen. The bad snap, block punt.
You know, you talked about a safety touch. A safety touch might be the thing to do. 22 seconds remaining.
You'd have to run 60 yards.
Yeah, you would.
Is that a Bay Ridge play there that you run 60 yards in your own end zone?
We have in the bottom of the playbook.
You do, eh? There's no. What happens if you trip on the 5 and go down?
I'm a little surprised REGI don't have 11 men up front here trying to block this punt rather than putting on the return.
This is really their last hope. I would go for the punt block, especially after the bad snaps they've been having.
And they
Great,
came
great
relatively
job.
close.
Good snap by
And
the center.
here's Murphy carrying the ball. Oh, and they tried to do a cross here. And, oh, he's still not down.
Oh, boy,
Now
there was
he's
a hit.
down.
Well, they have one play, maybe two.
12 seconds, time for a couple of pass plays.
That was 45, Mike Tousineau making the big hit there at the end on Dave Eves, I believe.
And number 7, Huey Van Conant, was also in on that play there. Well, Coach, 12 seconds.
Well, Hail Mary is about all
Hail
you can
Mary?
do at this stage. Hope that
All
you
those
get
trick
a
plays you've been
interference.
saving all year long, you don't worry
reverse
about
pass.
them. You just air it up and hope.
Well, I think so.
They
and
play
you hope-
too deep for running things like a flea flicker or something
I
like
guess
that.
so. Yeah. Oh,
Sydenham have 4
Take
deep.
one step back and
Yeah,
throw
Sydenham
it as
have
far
4
as you can.
DBs.
Hope somebody runs under it.
Out of bounds. Now, see the
I think Kevin just either a miscommunication or threw it out of bounds because the coverage was there. And
actually, it's funny because
It
number
stopped the clock.
15, was it 15 or 35, was open, and Murphy didn't look downfield at him.
starting to snow a little bit. Now we have the trip's left here. This will be just the Hail Mary. Throw it up and hope somebody can catch it.
There it goes.
Oh, great throw, great
Nice
throw.
Oh,
and
right
close.
through his hands.
Close.
Almost.
He threw the trip's left, and he threw to the backside receiver on the right side who was just going straight down the field.
I think that was number 80, Adam Deere, attempting on the reception there.
That ball almost came out of one hand and jumped into somebody else's. And that really is what you're looking for. You don't want the main receiver to catch it. You'd like the ball to pop up a little bit, and hopefully you catch the tip.
Or a pass interference.
Or pass
hope for
interference
that,
giving
too.
you one more play. Now you're seeing that you can't end on a penalty. Well, we got the same formation here.
And you'd expect basically the same play again.
You better throw it, Kevin.
I think he's
And he
over.
Oh,
did.
great
Oh.
throw.
And that's the game. Well, I think you have to congratulate both these teams on an excellent game and an excellent season. They play well-disciplined football.
Very entertaining game. Exciting, right down to the wire. Good finish for a very successful football season in Frontenac County.
And this is Sydenham's second championship in a row, 2 years in a row.
Like
Very strong program.
extend congratulations to the Sydenham Golden Eagles, players and coaching staff for winning this championship, and also for Regiopolis on putting out a tremendous battle. Coming up a little short, but certainly nothing to be ashamed of.
Final score, Sydenham Golden Eagles 13, REGI Panthers 7.